It's a sunny day in the city of Lagos, Nigeria, and we are in Lupeju talking about my hood, my street, where I grew up from. And what a better way to start this particular program with you, talking about football on the streets. Of course, we will be previewing the UEFA Champions League because that is what is happening this coming week. And we have two blockbuster games to look forward to. Inter Milan versus AC Milan, the Milan derby, as well as Man City versus Real Madrid. Yeah, that's right. Talking about the teams that faced up with each other last season in the UEFA Champions League semi-final. What will happen this time around? Well, that is left to be seen. Before I introduce the person that is joining me on the show today, we'll go on a very short break. When we come back, I'll be introducing my guest. Don't go anywhere. Yeah, welcome back to Football on the Street, the first ever episode, by the way. And I'm being joined by Jesse Maria, who is a Manchester United fan, while I'm an Arsenal fan. But both our clubs are not in the UEFA Champions League this season. Maybe next season we'll be talking about Arsenal versus United in the semi-final. Well, that is left to be seen. So, Jesse, I'm very sure you're excited for the semi-final coming up this week. AC Milan, Inter Milan, Real Madrid versus Man City. So let's talk about AC Milan versus Inter Milan. Before the semi-final, we saw Benfica, Inter Milan, AC Milan, Napoli. Did you ever think that we're going to have AC Milan and Inter Milan in the semi-final?
No. What I preview Napoli meeting Inter Milan in the semi-final.
And why is that?
Because the Osimhen factor. If Osimhen was around, that game would not be like that.
So we cannot say for a fact that Osimhen is a very vital player for Napoli. I mean, he just led them to the Scudetto title for the first time in 33 years.
Yes.
So it's a very good one. I mean, in Nigeria, he's making name for himself in Italy. And also, let's talk about the UEFA Champions League. What are you expecting? I mean, when you look at Inter Milan, AC Milan, what comes to my mind? Not that I'm that old, but what comes to my mind is Recoba, Obafemi Martins, Adriano, Ronaldo de Lima, and of course for AC Milan you have Van Basten, you have Seedorf, and we also have the likes of Kaka, Baresi, play for them. This crop of players that we have with Inter Milan and AC Milan, can they deliver what we always see them in the Milan derby between all those old players? Can they give us that in the Champions League?
No. You can't compare the olden days and the nowadays now. Between those times, Baresi and great Baresi and Maldini spent more than 20 years at Real Madrid, at AC Milan. But nowadays, those players in this team,
come on, we have what's his name? Fikayo Tomori.
Maybe just maybe 4 or 5 years in AC Milan. But those Baresi spent all their life at AC Milan. Even Maldini spent 21 years. Even the son is still paying for AC Milan. Even the father too pay for AC Milan. The generation team.
How about Inter Milan? I mean, then we have Stankovic.
Yes.
The last time Inter Milan won the Champions League 2010 under Jose Mourinho, we have Stankovic, we have Samuel Eto'o, we have Zanetti, who was a captain. We have Zanetti, who was a captain. Of course, we have Jose Mourinho and the manager then. What do you think is going to happen in this particular game?
This particular game, I'm giving to Inter Milan too.
And why is that?
Inter Milan, they have gained momentum now. Because the last 3 or 4 matches, 2-1, they are winning all their games. AC Milan, their game have dropped now.
How about you are looking at it from the angle that just maybe the Champions League is at the back of their mind. That is why they are not playing very well in the league. How about that?
You can see even the last 3 or 4 meetings between AC and Inter Milan, Inter gave the upper hand. Even in the league at
the Super Cup they had.
Inter won 3-0. So you can't compare Inter Milan and AC Milan for now.
If there's going to be a player that will decide the game in favor of Inter Milan, do you have a name in mind?
Let me see.
Lautaro Martinez.
Zenko. Lukaku start on the bench. But at AC Milan, Rafael
Leao for AC Milan. There's a player that plays the left back for AC Milan.
Hernandez. Rafael Leao to Hernandez. Can up their game and bring the team.
But let's look at the coaches. I mean, Spalletti. Not Spalletti, I beg your pardon. Spalletti is for Napoli. Stefano Pioli for AC Milan. and
Inzaghi.
Simone Inzaghi for Inter Milan. Who do you think will outwit the other person tactically?
Pioli. Pioli has mentality. He has experience more than Inzaghi. But Inzaghi, during Inzaghi's days, playing football, he can perform very well. But the coaches.
Inzaghi wasn't like a big name. He didn't outshine his other brother. I mean, talking about Filippo Inzaghi.
He's a striker. He and his other brother, Simone Inzaghi, Filippo Inzaghi, they are number 9, goal pusher. But they can't dribble.
I mean, who needs dribble? Erling Haaland will not dribble for you, but I mean, he will score goals for you. That's the most important thing.
Yes, he scored the goal. Like Mr.
So, talking about scoring goals, do you think I'm going to have a clean sheet in any of the 2 games?
First leg, I preview 1-1. Second leg, 0-0. Go to extra time. But the match is not like someone will win 3-0. No, the match is a tight game.
Oh, so they are using
the same stadium.
So you're not expecting high scoring encounter in both games. So you are predicting Inter Milan to get to the final. But then if you look at it from the angle that this is AC Milan's first semi-final, I think since 2007.
Yes.
And the last time they were in the semi-final, they won it beating Liverpool.
Yes.
Are you not looking at it from the angle that same thing can repeat itself again?
AC Milan have experience in Champions. These are 6 or 7 Champions League they have won. Inter Milan won 2 or 1. So you can't compare AC Milan. But nowadays, momentum. Inter have gained momentum.
AC Milan. So that's why you're looking at AC Milan.
Inter Milan in the league self. Inter is in 4th. AC is in 8th position.
So you're looking at Inter Milan qualifying to the final.
Yes,
if they qualify for the final, do you see them eventually winning it?
No. It's Man City. Man City winning treble. It's Man City. Man City will beat 19. 1-0.
Oh, they are going to beat Man United in the FA Cup final. So Man City are winning the treble.
Well,
I don't want to agree with you. I think they are still going to lose the league.
No, they can't lose the league.
Miracle.
No miracle.
Alright, so final prediction over the 2 leg, 1-1 aggregate.
1-1.
Inter Milan to progress via penalty
shootout.
Okay. All right. Hopefully your predictions will come to pass, and hopefully we'll have you again to join us on the show to talk about it.
About man himself.
Okay. No worries. Thank you very much. All right. Glad to have you guys join us back. We're still on football on the street. Yeah, you added the AC Milan Inter Milan preview with Jose saying it's definitely sure that Inter Milan are getting to the final. But about winning the Champions League this season, he is not sure. But he's so sure that Inter Milan are getting to the final. So I'm being joined again on the show by Oluwaseyi Ajayi to talk about the Man City versus Real Madrid game. With Thunder strike again, the second time that is left to be seen. Ajayi Oluwaseyi, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm fine.
Yeah. I mean, Thunder strike twice. Contrary to other people's belief, I actually do believe Thunder because there's actually a guy that Thunder has struck 3 times and is still alive. So yes, Thunder can strike twice.
The same sport or another sport?
Well, I'll have to get back to you on that.
I'm very sure the guy is not in Nigeria.
No, he's not in Nigeria.
I mean, if he's in Nigeria, they'll probably say your village people is following you.
I'm telling you.
We are not here to discuss village people.
Sure.
We are not here to discuss weather. We are here to discuss football.
Yeah.
And so Real Madrid versus City. What are you looking at?
Yeah, man, that has to be the blockbuster game for the whole season. Like, you are pitting Madrid, who are obviously, favorites in the Champions League, not necessarily favorites, in the game.
When it comes to the Champions League, I mean, Real Madrid, that's their biscuits.
They've won an impressive 14 Champions Leagues, and they've won it 3 times in a row. I think twice or 3 times. So, I mean, there is no one that has the better CV than Madrid when it comes to the Champions League. Even when they are doing poorly
in the league,
you understand? They might be losing 5 games in a row, but when they're in the Champions League, they're like the gods of the Champions League. So, I mean, this game is a must-watch for every football fan out there. Definitely. If you are looking for a game to watch, you don't even necessarily need to watch the Champions League final, but you definitely need to watch the 2 legs of Man City and Real Madrid.
Okay, so let me hold you. The people have been saying that Pep Guardiola, fraud or not fraud, and since he left Barcelona in 2011, 2012, if I'm not mistaken, he hasn't won the Champions League then. And he has always been saying it, that he was lucky at Barcelona, that he had Xavi, he had Iniesta, he had Dani Alves, and of course he had that For me, the greatest player of all time, Lionel Messi in his team. Then
Arguably.
now he has gotten Erling Haaland that is scoring like, I mean, there's no tomorrow, as they will say on the streets of Lagos. Funny enough, we're on the streets of Lagos, by the way.
On the first season in the Premier
League.
Yeah.
12 goals in the Champions League.
Yes.
What are your expectations? Do you think this is
the perfect
mix for maybe the final piece in the puzzle for Pep Guardiola to win the Champions League again?
Well, if you ask me, previous times when Guardiola has been in the Champions League, I wouldn't say he didn't have the perfect mix. I would say some games, like the Chelsea game, I would always refer to the Chelsea
2021,
final.
right?
Yes, to the Chelsea final. I think he made a tactical blunder in that game. There is no way I have a Rodri who is performing in every match. Like, I've never watched a match
that Rodri doesn't perform.
Exactly. You see, even since when he has been in Atletico Madrid, he's one of those players that you can rely upon. And I see you coming to the Champions League, playing a Chelsea. Of course, you might think Chelsea is not in form and stuff like that, but you are playing a Chelsea. Chelsea is a big top club, and there are expectations from them. If they have made it to the final, obviously, yes, and they are ready to take the lead. So you don't sit Rodri on the bench and hope that your tactical genius is going to get you to the final.
You're also part of the school of thought that thinks Pep Guardiola overthinks things.
I think he makes tactical blunders when he gets to the top of most of these.
Does that have anything to do with naivety? Maybe he's naive.
No, I think it's more of an overconfidence thing. You understand? Saying, I don't necessarily need to play a defensive midfielder to win Chelsea. And if you remember, I think in that same season, Chelsea beat them out of the FA Cup or the Carling Cup.
And also in the league.
So after I think maybe that was why he decided to sit Rodri down. Maybe because he thought, okay, I lost 2 games to these people.
Chelsea
yes, and let me give them an attacking formation.
Do you think? So most people believe that last season Real Madrid had luck. I mean, at the 89th minute, Man City were through to the final.
Yeah.
But somehow Rodrigo came up clutch for Madrid.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always had players coming clutch for Real Madrid in the Champions League. Tempo, Sergio Ramos.
Yeah.
So this game, what are you expecting? Do you think luck will shine on Real Madrid again, or do you think City are going to bottle it?
Well, you see, when you keep mentioning luck, we're talking about Madrid. You can't say it's luck. I mean, these people have 14 Champions League.
All of that cannot be down to luck.
Come on.
I get that.
So, Man City is a team, they start the game with a lot of pressure. They put a lot of pressure on the opponent. And if you notice, a lot of games Man City lose, they don't lose early in the game. If you score Man City early, you will almost lose that game or play a draw. If you want to hit Man City hard,
a sucker punch.
Yes, at the end of the game, at the closing 15 minutes of the game, that is when you have your best chance of winning Man City. Just as seen in the game against Real Madrid last season, because they've made sure they bottled Man City in the first at least 70 minutes. They made them play a lot of pressure, get tired, and you know what Don Carlo did? He brought out players. He brought out Modric. He brought out Cruz. He brought out some other players. He put in Rodrigo, he put in Valverde and some other players. Camavinga, and these guys did the job. I mean, Rodrigo scored, I think, 2 goals.
Yeah, 2 goals.
At the late hour of that game. If you look at the Brentford game as well this season, Brentford scored in the first half, Man City equalized, and they scored their second game close to the end of the game when they knew, Man City would be tired, obviously. So I think Madrid cannot be looked down upon. I think Ancelotti is a UEFA Champions League tactician. He knows what to do, and he has played don't forget, he has played in the Premier League with Guardiola, although he was playing at Everton, right? So he has a little bit of insight into Guardiola. However, if you notice Guardiola, he didn't start the season with the 3-2-4-1 formation he's using right now. He only started using that, I think, 4 or 5 matches. Yes, maybe after the World Cup. You understand? And I think he has been doing that so that he can change his game a little bit and hit people on the surprise. I think what he does is, usually he uses Rodri and Stones as the DM, as the 2 midfielders in front of the 3 at the back, and they use that to attack. I think when they switch to defense, Stones comes back to CB, and Walker moves to the right, and Akonji moves to the left, and he has just one DM, so it becomes a 4-1-4-1 formation or 4-5-1 formation to defend. but immediately they go on the counter, they
switches
shift
back
back
again.
to that formation.
But Carlo Ancelotti doesn't do that. I mean, he just set his boys to play. I mean,
Don Carlo,
Ancelotti.
nobody can do what Don Carlo does. Do you understand? And that's why he's obviously called Don Carlo. So if you ask me, I think City are going to put a lot of pressure, probably gain a lot of the possession of the game, probably even gain a lot of the shots of the game. But do not write Real Madrid out.
I know you can't stay on the fence on this one. I have to put you on the spot.
I take Madrid.
So you're picking Madrid over the 2 legs.
Well, I think in Santiago Bernabeu, I think Madrid is going to edge with a goal difference.
Okay.
Might be 2-1, might be 3-2, and at the Etihad, I think they're going to get a draw. Or Man City is going to edge them by a goal to nil. A goal to nil.
So who's going to progress at the end of the day?
If you ask me, from my experience, I think Madrid is going to progress. However, with the kind of game City is playing right now, and the pressure on Guardiola to get the Champions League, because he tried at Bayern Munich, he couldn't get it, and now it's at Man City. He has been there for I think 5 years now, and he hasn't 6 years, and he hasn't gotten it. So I think he has the prerogative to win that game. So, but I will pick Madrid because they've done that. I mean, last season they came back in 3 different matches against top teams: PSG, Chelsea, and Man City, who they are facing this season.
Just before we go, if there's going to be a player that will make the difference for both teams. I mean, Josie made mention of the fact that at Inter Milan, Lautaro Martinez, mentioned I think Lukaku also.
Well, I don't know.
At AC Milan, they mentioned Rafael Leao.
Yeah.
Giroud.
Who picked up an injury today? Rafael Leao picked up an injury today.
Probably a precautionary one, just to keep him fit for the game.
Yeah.
So, if you're going to mention any player to take the lead, I mean, to be the standard player in both teams, who are you going for? Let's start off with Man City first.
Well, Man City, obviously, I'll pick De Bruyne and Haaland. Because if you look at the Arsenal game, he showed his tactical genius using Haaland as a false 9 and De Bruyne to play more forward. So there's like
telepathic connection between
both of them, that they can switch tactics even in the game. So Haaland can play as a full 9, and De Bruyne, obviously, you know how he does his pass. He's a very good passer. Or they can switch to Haaland playing the false 9 and De Bruyne pushing more forward. So I think Haaland and De Bruyne are going to be very, very key. And do not forget Akanji at the back. Akanji has been a solid player since he got into the Man City team. So he also want to work for.
How about Real Madrid just before we go?
Well, you know who it is, man. It's my boy Benzema. Benzema is always the difference maker. Do you understand? And I've noticed that whenever Benzema is not in the Madrid game, the wingers struggle, especially Vinicius. But when you want to see the best of Vinicius, just watch his games alongside Benzema. So I think Benzema, Vinicius are going to be key in that game. But do not forget Modric in the midfield. He's also a key player. There's no one for me to only talk about in the defense, because I mean, Madrid's defense has been lacking all season. I think they've not had up to 2 or 3 or 4, let's say 5 maximum clean sheets this season across all their games. Always consider. I have nothing to say about their defense. But Modric, Benzema, and Vinicius are the people to look out for. And don't forget their keeper, Courtois, also a star player. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that is Sheyi telling us that Man City and Real Madrid game is definitely going to be a blockbuster. And I'm tempted to say whoever wins this game is going to win the Champions League between both teams. I mean, it's looking like that. No disrespect to Inter Milan and AC Milan, but it was like the final before the final.
If we are going to look at it, direct, I mean, Inter Milan and AC Milan, they are nowhere near Real Madrid and Man City right now. But Inter Milan and AC Milan, I don't think the Italian league has won the Champions League
since 2010.
You understand? That's like 13 years. You get, so you never can say. They might go Chelsea on them, Mourinho on them, and defend and score at the end of the game and win the Champions League. But anybody who wins this blockbuster is the favourites to win the league, Champions League.
All right, anybody that wins the Champions League semi-final between Real Madrid and Man City is definitely the favourite to win Champions League for this season. Just like I said, and again, no disrespect to Inter Milan and AC Milan, but that is where we find ourselves right now. Form is what we're talking about. But in football, form can get thrown out of the window. And the popular DJ we always say, DJ Exclusive, telling us what we already know. This is football.
Anything can happen.
is possible. And what has been possible is that we've been able to bring to you the pilot show of football on the street here in Ilopeju, Ibadan Street, to be precise. So once again, it's a pleasure to have you guys join us on this exciting journey. Hopefully we'll bring you more content. And just so you know, just drop your prediction for the Champions League this season. What is going to happen? Do you feel Liverpool? I beg your pardon. Do you feel Inter Milan, AC Milan, Real Madrid, Man City? Who do you feel is going to win the Champions League? Amongst these 4 teams that I've mentioned, drop your comment below. You might just be getting a trip to watch the final. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it's going to be possible. You might just be getting a trip. But we can assure you that there will be giveaway for everyone on our social media platform.
The question, not everyone.
Who wins the Champions League? Who wins the Champions League? That is the question. Till we come away again with another exciting episode of Football on the Street. My name is Adeni Farano. Bye for now.